Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Half the Race Gone. My name is DirtenDK, and I'm here with Fynn of Vanquish Esports for round 2 of the VSRS Grand Prix series from Spa, and that's in Belgium. Should there be any doubt about it? I don't think there is. With a little bit of delay, a very warm welcome and a good evening to all of you tuning in here. Early days, we've got a very nice evening of racing coming up here. Open wheel action from one of the very best racetracks in the world. And I'm joined by, as mentioned before, as Fynn. Fynn, welcome to you. Good to have you along.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It looks like it's going to be a good event today. Some big names and yeah, these cars are very good for racing.
They make for very good stuff indeed, and some of the rules that has been applied to make the racing even more interesting, I think, is very, well, yeah, interesting. Because we're running 120% weight for the machines running around here today, and that means... Where's my... Oh, there it is. That means apparently it means that there's a little less effect of dirty air on the cars, whether that's because they're more planted on the ground with the more weight that has been added, or what that is that does it. I don't know, because they're not running any less downforce or anything. But it was quite evident last week at the Red Bull Ring that the cars were really raceable, and that was something that we really enjoyed seeing.
Yeah, it means that basically people can take less speed into the corners, so the downforce effect is, well, people are going to take less speed into the turns, which means less dirty air. So it means that we can have better racing here at Spa, which is such a high downforce track.
It very much so is. So we're hoping that the sound levels are good today. Let me know if the engine noise is too low, ladies and gents, because I've been wanting to bring it up. For a good old Spinal Tap reference, turn it up to 11. That's a good old one. That's even before I was born, but it still lives on, and that just goes to show how of a brilliant joke it is. We've got TX3 Joni joining us today. As you mentioned earlier, Fynn, that Audi livery is really nice.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that him and Flopsy have the same kind of livery, but with different numbers, of course. Yeah, very nice modern look to what an open wheel car from Audi would look like.
Indeed. Also on the grid, of course, I want to say one of the victors of the first round for VLX. It is my fellow Dane, Chris. Did so well at the Red Bull Ring. Finished 4th, if I recall correctly, in the first round, and then took the win in the second one.
Yeah.
For R70, we have a teammate for race rules this time around, and it is Nas. Do we say Nasty Nas? Nasty Nas, Nasty Nas. No, Nas is the Nas. I don't know. We'll probably say Nas, because chances are it'll be Nas in Spanish. So, but anyways, nice to see another entry from the R70 team, in all seriousness. Of course, for VLX, we have Pinkery as well. A well-known face for long-time viewers of this channel. He's been racing in some of the TSR series of old as well. So always very nice to see Pinkery on track. And a fast boy indeed, but it goes to show just how fast these guys are, that Pinkery doesn't just sail away as he would against most human competition, I'd like to say, because that's what I've seen in plenty of league races before. So you need alien level to be at the top here. Dare I say that? I think that's pretty much correct. But again, a very warm welcome. Let me just go through who I see in the chat. It's nice to have you along. GTR, Ryan, Crisscross, Mika. Ooh, good to see you. Manu86, welcome too. Matthew, good to have you along as well. Monte. Oh, Mr. Robbins is here as well. Emilius, good to see you. Nilse, thanks for liking the music. I made that myself, the song that we heard today. So, yeah. And then, of course, all the drivers tuning in as well to get a bit of a tactical advantage, perhaps knowing what their the opposition is up to.
Nick and Pinkeray taking the optimal line through Lecombe.
Stream isn't up. Stream should very much be up. Oh, it's good. Oh, good single. Good.
Yeah. Wow. Nice heart attack. Jesus.
And
yeah, we've also got Nick joining us, as well as the newly rebranded TX3 Cooper, as he has joined the team this week.
Yeah. Yes, that is indeed a actually pretty big news and a good signing, I feel like, for TX3. And then on the other side, Phoenix Esports are probably not going to be too happy with losing one of their top names. He's at the top of the standings in the ESGT GT4 series right now.
Yeah.
And he's first
Definitely
out the pits here.
Definitely a big name.
PS4 Pro user confirmed. Because I know, like, if the guys first out the pits are always the guys on the PS4 Pro. That and a good internet connection, of course, helps as well. Thanks, by the way, thanks Crisscross for the supportive message there, and do smash that like button if you like what we do. Of course, if you think we're absolute crap, feel free to dislike it. And if you want to see more of what we do here on Half the Race Gone, more of our GG Sport race broadcast, or maybe of us driving around in cars ourselves in iRacing, or trucks maybe even, you can hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be sure to get that notification when we go live. We're watching Cooper here on the qualifying out lap. Fynn lap times we're expecting in the high 40s around here.
I have no clue.
Such a perfect piece of expert commentary there. I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding, mate.
I'm sure that one of the top people will pump in a good lap time. I think they were 56s, so not 40s, not that 40s. Fast. But yeah, I think a 56 is a good lap time. But with overtake, maybe a 55, high 55. We'll see.
That just goes to show how little I know about this. That probably means that 48s would be like Formula 1 pace around here. I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, Ethan, how good it is to have you along as well, mate. Nice to see you. Always a pleasure. We have the first live qualifying laps getting underway here. The Audi livery machine of TX3 Joni. And it's Pinkery Olympic. And was that Nick? Behind, sneaking through
not
the
a good start there. I think he's already aborted his lap.
Oh my, and he actually came across someone. There was that Flopsy?
Flopsy, yeah.
That was Flopsy. Have a look at that here as Nick aborts his lap on the exit. Oh, he messes the exit up from the source. And he doesn't really come across though, or he cuts in behind, so that was a bit of an optical illusion, I think.
Yeah. I think he's now just searching for slip now. He's got his teammates single ahead of him.
Yeah.
Searching for that slipstream for the next lap. Someone that would be very good to watch on this lap would be Olympic. You know, he's so fast in the cars. I think he got pole, No, single got pole, but he was the most consistent driver of last round, and that's why he's sitting at the top of the standings.
That is a very, very good point indeed. And mentioning the standings, just a second. There it is. The standings on your screen. So as you mentioned, Olympic, the top scorer, 18 points in the sprint race, 18 points in the feature race. That adds up to 36 points for anyone who are able to do their basic maths, like I am, even. Chris picked up 4 points only in the sprint race, so I recalled it completely wrong. He of course was something closer to second to last, and then started in a very good position. Race Rose with 2 times 12 points, so a very consistent performance there. Ryan 2 and 21 points, ending up to a total of 23. Single filer picking up 21 with yourself, Fynn, 18 points from the first round. Quentin on 17. Sparks on 16. We got Pinkery with a 2x1, the simplest of maths. And then Tiger Tom and Unilesker, DNF and DNS, respectively.
First lap's coming through, and Olympics already nearly 4 tenths ahead of Ryan.
Oh my word, that is a very hot lap. 154.1. So you were saying into the 55s, and we would be seeing some competitive laps here. 54.1, still closer though than my 48 predictions. So, you know, and as the timer runs out, that means that the drivers will have this lap to complete as the final lap of qualifying. As you mentioned, Fynn, it is provisionally Olympic on pole in front of Ryan, Race Roos, Tiger Tom, Flopsy, Pinkery, Cooper, and Chris, the Dane, in 8th for VLX at the moment.
Interesting thing to notice as well is that Royce had set the exact same time to Ryan on the first laps they've done. I don't know if that's on my screen or if that's on your end as well.
The minute and 37 is after it went to 0, if that's what you're thinking about. That's what remaining until the actual sessions goes to the race. By the way, lads, Dirt Rally, I wouldn't expect it right about now because my PC is not able to run Dirt Rally 2.0 and I don't have a wheel and pedals that I'm able to connect to my PS4 together. So either I'd had to get a new set of G29 pedals, which would be kind of stupid, or I would have to get a Fanatec wheelbase, which I can't afford. Either way, sadly, I think if I can get Richard Burns Rally running though, that would be the continuation, the obvious continuation of Dirten Rally. And enough about Dirten Rally because we have qualifying results in here. And as quickly as they appear on your screen, they are torn away again. I mentioned this time on... And the race is on. And once again, we get a quick glance here of the starting order. As I mentioned, Chris.
Wow. Chris
on pole position. He managed to put in a 153.5 under our noses to grab pole position here. The Dane, very strong against teammate Olympic. Then Joni, Flopsy, Ryan, Race Roos, Cooper, and Nas. That's the top 8. And watch when the lights will go off. The red lights, the 5 of them in the middle of the screen, and they're off. Towards turn 1 they come, and it's a very good start from Chris. Now Olympic trying to move to the inside, and into La Source they come. Now will they come through cleanly as well? It seems so. A good start from everyone, and now the run down towards Eau Rouge.
Cooper and Johnny going side by side, coming up into Eau Rouge. This will be close going into Les Combes.
A flip of the cam here on board of Ryan's car will give us a very good view of that exact battle there. Joni, 5th place right behind here. Then it's Cooper and Race Roos who's down in 7th. And the Dutchman is making a move, it seems, but it was just a look. More like it, I think. Up ahead here, Olympic has gone ahead. Olympic has gone ahead of Chris. Simply getting the run down the Camel Straight. Probably making use of a bit of overtake there. Of course, when the green light above the driver's heads is flashing, that is when the overtake system is being deployed. You will then gradually see the color darken and change color towards the color of red as the overtake is dropping in its available amount, in its usability, so to say. Only to be turned off completely, the light and the overtake, that is when there is no more. So Olympic leading Chris, Flopsy in 3rd place with a bit of a moment here as they come into Stabilo 1.
Was that worth it for Olympic? He's nearly got half overtake, not even finished the first lap. And, well, everyone's looking at like a 3/4 bar for their overtake.
He got a
Nick
big...
not even using any.
Well, that's very interesting. And nice that we have someone who can actually keep an eye on that without revealing everything to our viewers. We want to keep something secret.
Chris nearly breaking that slipstream barrier to Flopsy now. Flopsy looks like he's struggling. A lot of pressure from Ryan. And Johnny and Cooper as well are not going to give up on this fight.
Ryan, the former TSR driver, really showing his worth here. He's in 4th place and he's putting absolute pressure on Flopsy. Trying to make use of the overtake system there, but he gets blocked off by the German in front. Now he gets a second run here on the Camel Straight, and he is well gonna go through. And on the other side, here comes Johnny as well.
Oh!
And Johnny was gonna pass the Flopsy on one side, and on the other side he took the Ryan for a good old mega hack, and then quote when someone goes off. Oh my word. It's all just kicking off here. Who was that going off on the outside there? That was Flopsy, yeah. On board we are here. That's on the outside, getting the squeeze from Ryan on the outside of Malmedy. Well kept there, my sir. Keep that under control. 7. But down into 7th place. That was costly for Flopsy. Spicy stuff indeed here.
Sparks has spun at the back.
Sparks at the back of affairs. He was battling Single Filer for last place as they come into Puhorn there. And he just goes wide on the outside there, picks off the AstroTurf and spins. That is an absolute classic. I've seen that accident happen, I think, about 100 times now in my career as a commentator. Olympic.
So now, with all of that battling, Chris and Olympic have just bolted away. Chris looking like the one in the hot seat right now. More overtake, slipstream, no attack from behind.
I was just about to say, is this a team attack from Olympic and Chris just using Olympic to power ahead, letting him use the slipstream early on or the overtake? Mind you, this is only an 8-lap race, so they could be doing fancy like that and then maybe switch positions somewhere along the race sometime, maybe towards the middle, and then have Chris using his overtake to drag him away from the rest. Team tactics, we haven't seen it before, but I don't think it would be that strange.
No, definitely not. I mean, just look at the overtake that Olympic has used compared to Chris. Chris is nearly 3/4. Olympic's on a quarter. So maybe they're just trying to get away as fast as they can and just secure these points.
That would be a very good point indeed, and a very good way to score those points for the team and for themselves. And then there's a bit of contact in between there. That's Flopsy again. This time getting involved with, I think that's Tiger Tom on the outside. Here is Tiger Tom, the view from the Vanquish car. That's it takes 2 to tango, and it certainly did in that situation as well here. They are both now feeling the pressure from Nick and the other of the Vanquish cars. The Vanquish boys are not in a dream position here at the moment.
Single filer on Naz now going into Blanchimont. He's using a lot of overtake. He should get that done. And he has.
And he certainly has here as we join that battle for 11th place. The Spaniard now in 12th. And Single Filer, whom I think we were expecting to see up there rather than down there in the order. But it just goes to show how strong the grid is here. Look at this now, Olympic. 0.9 of a second's lead. Of course, Chris don't want to get too close to the driver in front in terms of dirty air and such. But I reckon he wants to stay a little bit closer than this. But now, coming onto the Camel Straight, he has the overtake. I feel like, as you mentioned earlier on as well, Fynn, that Chris is in the position of power here.
No, totally. I mean, so much more overtake. And he can just dictate anything because he's got the huge gap behind to Johnny. And he's not going to drop the slipstream unless he makes a mistake. So this will be interesting to see what will happen.
So in 3rd place, and this is battle that we're watching right now, it's Johnny, Ryan, Race Fruits is slowly catching up to these two. Seems to have quite a bit of overtake there. Ryan running low on that account. Flopsy's up into 6th place. Cooper is in 7th now, and Tiger Tom in 8th. So, where was Cooper running before this? Has he dropped down the order? Has he gained positions?
I think he stayed the same.
Stayed the same? Oh, well, Race Rules got up, then Flopsy's gotten past. Oh, and someone goes wide there!
I think that was Tiger Tom, or was it Tiger Tom?
Indeed, I think you just might be right on that one, Tiger Tom. Having a look here. It's exiting Le Forge, and he certainly goes into the gravel trap there, but keeps it under control. Loses a position though. Oh, and Chris has gone ahead. Chris has gone ahead, so Chris is into the lead. And just in time to catch it here as the Dane makes the move on Olympic. And that's into the bus stop. Oh, that gets a little bit sketchy there. On the curb there for Chris, but he keeps it under control. And he takes first place, the lead.
Ryan into third. Johnny had an awful exit out of La Source. They're both on the same kind of overtake, but was that tactical to maybe get the slipstream up the Camel Straight? We'll see. A lot more.
Seemed to be ahead of... Oh yeah, he got a bit of a push there, I think. Seems like he got nudged wide to me, and Ryan doesn't seem to be heavily defending this position as well. That might have something to do with each other there, and a bit of a kick of the tail there from Johnny as they go into Malmedy, the middle section of the track here, the twisty bit. Race Rules still very much in contention for this one as well. Ethan, yeah, it does happen. It does just happen.
So the two Germans in this top six, both wearing the Audi livery, had really action-packed races. Oh, Ryan's off! Poo on. He just let the position to Race Royce. It's now going to be under attack with them dirty tyres going into the chicane.
On board we are with Ryan here, having a look at the entire situation. There's something else, Fynn?
No, just some contact. Coming out the chicane.
But La Forge there, so Olympic leading Chris Joni. Race Rules now back to 4th place. Really getting the hammer down on this lap, getting low on the overtake as well. 3 more laps of racing to be had, yeah.
Olympics back past. Chris has not used any overtake this lap. Very interesting strategy for both of them. I mean, they're pulling away.
Fastest lap, fastest lap of the race there, Olympic 56.3.
Yeah.
It is a very interesting strategy there from the VLX boys.
Is Chris just going to go for one hot lap with the overtake and just steal the fastest lap? Is that all he cares about? Well, he has so much overtake.
You wouldn't be surprised if he does have a lot of overtake on, and he does have a car that seems to be perfectly right. He's on a purple first sector by 0.3 of a second on this lap. He seems to be in absolute control at the moment. They're sitting on a 4-second advantage to Joni in 3rd, Race Rules is in 4th. Falling behind here. So Joni in a good position, it seems, to keep 3rd place though. Race Rules still in with a shot, but he's really under pressure from Ryan. But both Ryan and Flopsy are getting on, and somebody just cleared out completely into the wall.
That's
there.
Nick.
That's Nick.
Oh, the light damage as well. That will not help us turning for this final sector.
That's on the exit of Brussels and into No Name. Look out for what happens here then. As he goes too wide, he goes over the tall bit of the curbing that clips the bottom of the car, I think. And he gets sent into the wall there. Big time.
Oh, he's gone off.
Oh, and he's gone on again.
So much understeer.
Nick's off again.
His damage has only just refreshed. He's got so much understeer in chicane.
Yeah, it was in the Forge. Nick is now in dead last position. Such poor luck. Joni.
This battle from 4th place to 7th.
Yeah,
is...
3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah.
With, of course, Joni, Race Rules, Ryan, Flopsy, Cooper. Single Filers made it up into 8th place, still sitting on quite a bit of overtake. Could we see a late charge from the Dutchman here?
I would say the same for Cooper as well. He has half overtake and everyone ahead of him has none. That will be easy for him to get overtakes down straights. He's using some now. Try and gain back on Flopsy. Needs to be tactical with this, because Dirty Air can lose a lot.
Sparks.
The slipstream.
Sparks being called out as being not last because, well, Nick is last now, so that's Sparks also driving one of the prettiest cars of this series with a D2 liveried machine here. Paying homage to Mercedes liveries of old. As he's putting the pressure onto Nas here. It's a very good four-way battle actually as well here. Nas getting a little bit squiddly there into Brussels. He manages to keep it under control. Going quickly enough. We'll switch back to that battle for third place, but that seems to have strung out a little bit as well here.
Yeah.
Race Roost though up into fourth now. Ryan in fifth. Flopsy sixth. I think that is actually how it stood before as well. So, never mind that. We've got Cooper in seventh as well as you mentioned before. Fynn, he's sitting on a big old pile of overtake. He has only a little over a lap to get it used here. And he seems to be a little too far back for his own liking, I think, compared to Flopsy up ahead. He will need the big old run down the Camel Straight the next time up. And the same, of course, goes for Chris, who's still in second place up ahead as they go into the bus stop.
This will be the battle to watch, because will Chris just use everything on this lap? Just give everything and just overtake Olympic without even trying? Because there will be no competition. Olympic has no overtake. And Chris has, well, just under half. So we'll see. He's using some now, but not as much as I thought he would be using. Very weird strategy from Chris.
So the entire field there, pretty much.
Oh, here's the overtake for the lead. He is really using the overtake now.
Flying through now. Is he dead on the overtake? I think.
No. He still has a quarter to go.
Oh, he still has a quarter to go. Yeah, it was blinking. I wasn't seeing the green. I wasn't seeing the green color of it. I just saw some blinking. But that means that he is in prime position still. If he has the pace to get rid of Olympic, who by the way has no more overtakes, so basically what Chris needs to do here is just keep some for the what's called the Paul Frère straight coming down towards Blanchemont. Because that will be the place to charge for Olympic. But if you can get far enough away, of course, it's not going to be a problem here. Into the Forge they go, the two teammates, the Dane, the Dutchman.
Another battle to focus on is 6th and 5th. Ryan just had a really bad run out of Puon again. And Flopsy is 2/10 behind him now.
Flopsy is very much on the tail.
This is just going to rely on pure slipstream as they both don't have overtake.
Here we are on board with Flopsy.
Oh,
who's that?
Race. He's run out of fuel.
That's Race Roos. He's run out of fuel. He's run out of fuel. Oh my word! He's run out of fuel, and as I say that, Chris takes the checkered flag for the sprint race here. Joni in third place, of course. That means Olympic.
Flopsy's run out too.
And Flopsy's run out as well.
Oh, single file 1,000s for Ryan. What just happened?
I get single filer 2,000s down on Ryan. Do you get single filer in fifth?
Sixth.
Single filer in sixth place, Ryan fifth, 2,000s of a second. That's what they have on my screen at least.
Yeah.
Crazy if we have different results.
Wow. I mean,
a
great race from Chris. Very weird strategy. But using all of that overtake in the final lap, and there was just no challenge.
We have to say it seemed to work. It seemed to work.
Yeah.
It seemed to work pretty well. Oh yeah, let's go to the rules page, by the way, so you can see the settings that are gonna be in use for the feature race. 20 laps, 4 times tires, and 3 times fuel. And of course, a big old congratulations here from us to the VLX boys. That was a very well thought out race strategy there. Grab front rows, lock it out, and then just head off in the distance.
There was no competition. They went from the first lap and didn't look back. So yeah, good job from that. Also reading in the chat that there was incident between Pinkeray and Single Filer, which would mean, you know, why Single Filer was so low down in the field. But a great recovery on that final lap, so.
That of course makes sense.
But Race Royce running up in 4th position and losing fuel in Blanchimont. Wow.
That is pretty incredible, I have to say. That is pretty amazing. Pretty wicked stuff. Feature race set to start in 6 minutes from now, which means that we will have a short bit of practice time open here on the track for the drivers. Which they
now
are
this will be
in no hurry to really use, it seems.
No.
Just go out there and bump each other, cause a bit of
is the tyre selection.
There. The tyre selection.
We have 3 people at the moment, as it stands, on the medium tyre. Now the medium is mandatory. Everyone has to use it in this race. And if you're starting at the back, you might as well use it. So Chris, Pinkeray and Cooper looks to be the only people that are using it so far.
Chris, Pinkeray and Cooper starting on the mediums. That's very interesting indeed. And for Chris, who starts at the back of the field, that might come to be a very wise decision actually. I've seen...
Yeah.
Usually it is what you'd see work out pretty well too. Because if you're at the back and choose softs early on and have to go for the mediums later in the race, then you won't get the optimum amount of pace out of that early set of softs there. By the way, welcome to MRT Racing. Welcome to Blanco. Nice to have you along. Shoma, good to see you. Congratulations on that big old Renault deal. I was about to say the Renault event with the IGTL. Excited to see that happening and excited to follow it tomorrow on the official Renault esports page. I actually don't know. I must say
Twitch. Yes.
Sounds
Vitality Esports and Renault, if I'm not mistaken.
Our knowing man here, Fynn. That's good.
Yeah.
Sota indeed, a lazy 95. Yeah, that's a good point.
So Ryan now on the medium, so another person added to the medium strategy.
Yeah, if they don't... Another stock check. That's gonna be necessary?
I think because once you restart the settings, some people get stuck in the pits. I know I did last race.
Oh, yeah.
So, just in case, I think Single's doing a stock check. Just so we can get the most amount of people as we can in the race.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, that means we'll have another stock check shortly.
Yeah.
Which I'll do my best not to show you. I'll hop over to the points page and talk about what the effects of the... Look at someone. Is this Chris? Oh my word! Yeah. And I'm not seeing the liveries all of a sudden. Now I'm seeing everyone on stock liveries here.
I'm seeing them perfectly fine.
That's not supposed to happen. I'm gonna be...
Maybe exit and rejoin the track?
Just did that. And it didn't really do it. No, it didn't do anything. So I'll have to not seeing any liveries. Because that's not gonna be
nice to watch.
It's not gonna be very easy to get a hold on there. But anyways, Chris picking up another 25 point here in the sprint race. That's gonna leave him in a very good position. Olympic was also up there as well. So those two are gonna be keeping a Senna Prost-esque teammate battle going there at the head of the standings. Let's hope they can remain better mates. Though in the end, it was
Thank
not
God it's
all
not
bad.
Suzuka.
It was not all bad for Race Roos, but it was not all good either because he did lose that. Wasn't he one of the drivers who ran out of fuel in the end?
Yeah, at Blanchimont.
At
The
Blanchimont.
earliest of all of them.
Oh, he ran out early.
Yeah.
Oh my word, no. No.
Which meant that he actually
No.
did finish 8th. Which
I don't know single filer, but my PS is my game is crashing right now apparently, so I'll need to restart it completely, and I'm getting back in as quickly as I can.
I mean, this race will make the title challenge interesting because Olympic, he dominated the first round in the wet at Austria, and then Chris from the front, should I say, had a commanding victory in the feature, and now roles are reversed. Will Olympic win in the feature? Who knows?
That is a good point. That's a very good point, actually. So, Crystal Lawnmower. Yeah, that was... we had a good old Danish Formula 1 commentator from back in the days when it was on our national TV, Danmarks Radio. It was Claus Borg. Perhaps Chris will remember this as well, but he used to call every time a driver was in the grass, or on the grass, he would say that he was out botanizing. I usually found that, and we have somebody off botanizing. Or it would be something more in the tone of, vi har en eller anden ude og botanisere, og det er Heinz Harald Fransen. In good old Danish. Not something I get to do a lot. Actually, I've been thinking about that. It could be really funny to get to actually commentate on some racing, and actually in my maternal language, Danish, at some point. Although knowingly that I think 30 out of 30, unless Chris is watching, and maybe Kenny too, wouldn't get shit out of it. Because the Danish sim racing community isn't really that big, it seems, generally. But maybe the opportunity will present itself someday.
Well, that crash was perfectly orchestrated because you missed the stop check, so...
Oh well!
Great job there.
Luck in unluck. Luck in unluck, indeed. So am I thinking about doing a Danish broadcast of the race tomorrow, or what? No, I'm just kidding.
What about a half-race gone podcast?
Half the race, half the podcast gone? We've spoke about that before.
Oh, no.
That would be terrible. Like, that would be absolutely terrible. By the way, I dare someone who has their subscription settings to public. That means that people see when they subscribe. I dare someone whom we will be able to see subscribing to subscribe. Because I did some cool stuff, and I want to see if it works. That's a cheesy way to get subscribers, isn't it?
Desperation at its finest.
Desperation has kicked in indeed. Feature race in Danish. Felix, we can do the warm up in Danish here. Vi har hvad laver singlefiler her. Vi får en dejlig skud af landskabet omkring Spa-Francorchamps her i de belgiske Ardenner. Et par af de lidt ældre, hvad er det? Det er en Kicks, tror jeg, eller måske sådan en hotdog-bil. Og så en gammel Citroën HY der i forgrunden.
Where am I?
Fantastisk. Her har vi Flopsy, som er gennemsigtig i øjeblikket. Så er der Tiger Tom, han er på vej op til Eau Rouge her. Og så op igennem Radillon og husk folkens, det er altså 2 forskellige sving. Få nu rækkefølgen i orden. Her er Nas, kommer ud af busstop-chikanen. Og kommer over stregen til hans flyvende omgang. Jeg tror, han er den eneste, der faktisk er ved at sætte en flyvende omgang. Og så har vi fra løbsdirektøren 30 sekunder.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it right there. So you're happy now, Felix? Resub nothing. Sota. It should work though. It really should work, though.
I mean, it's got to be something influenced Murray. Why is this just disappointment? Anyway, the race starting now.
Sounds the
Feature race
is starting. Indeed, 20 laps. Reverse grid, which means we have Nick at the head of the field in front of Tiger Tom, Sparks, Nas, Pinkery, Race Royce, Cooper, Single Filer, Ryan, Flopsy, Joni, Olympic, and just didn't get to see who that last one was
Chris.
on the grid. But it is, of course, Chris.
Let's see what the start will be like.
Nice. Nu kan jeg også forstå programmet. Kenny siger sådan. Vi har starten, der går der grønt lys, og de er på vej ned til La Source, og det er Nick, der kører. I'm sorry, I'll do it in English. Nick takes the lead here into turn 1. La Source through Tiger Tom. Sparks, Nas, Race Royce, Single Filer, Pinkery, and Flopsy. The top 8, but they seem to be 3 wide here in the battle for third. But it's gonna be 3 wide. Oh. That is how you take a Rouge Radillon, and who comes out on top? It's Nas, Single Filer, Race Royce in that battle for 4th place. Still, and yet again, a very clean start. That's very good to see. Somebody moving around the outside there. That's Single Filer. Oh my word. Did you see that? He came from a mile back.
Yeah, great move there from Single. Chris already in last on that medium tyre. Looks like Olympic has also gone for the soft tyre, so he's doing something a lot different with his strategy at the back, which is good to see. He's just passing cars left, right and centre with that fresh tyres.
So at the back it's still Chris here battling it out with Cooper. He gets a very good run, the Dane, and around the outside he goes through Puhon there. Olympics in 11th, so the Alex drivers...
Oh! Someone in the wall! Was that Flopsy? Who was that? Someone just...
Where is he? Where is he even? Flopsy! Oh, there he is in 6th place.
Oh, Single Filer's very wide!
Someone just went to the outside there at the exit of Stavilo.
No.
Now let's see if we can catch who was that getting chipped into the wall. Was that?
I think it was Johnny.
That looks like it's... Was that Single? Was that Johnny? I'm not sure. It might have been Johnny.
Ryan already pitting for the medium tyre. He is... Wow. Doesn't like that tyre, obviously. Same with Cooper. Wow. Interesting. Well, that lap one was entertaining to say the least.
You don't say, Fynn. And as we start lap 2, it's Nick ahead of Tiger Tom. The 2 VQS Vanquish Esports drivers now in a very good position here for R70's Nas, who's defending from Sparks in the beautiful D2 Mercedes machine. And he's really trying to put on the pressure, of course, for TX3 here in 4th place, but not really close enough. Or maybe he doesn't want to go for the move this early. He's in an R70 sandwich though, because Race Roos is in 5th place and he's right on his tail as well. It's Flopsy in 6th, who's in the center of a bit of attention here. I don't think it was him. I think it was Joni who was off earlier. And there's Olympic. Olympic there side by side through Brussels, now through No Name on the outside. Is he going to get him? I think he is. Oh, there's a bit of contact and Olympic gets the position. Brilliant stuff from the Dutchman there, forcing his way through Turk. Oh, there's a very late send there. Oh, that's a slight touch of wheels, but it's clean enough. Another slight touch there, but it's just nudging. Oh, and then on the outside here, he keeps it in. Very well done there from Joni to actually give the space to Olympic to come through on the outside
and
there, and he's going straight through on Pinkery. Oh my word! Here, that's through Stavilo. And he's up.
Well, there's the Tiger Tom train. The top 2 on mediums, everyone behind are on softs apart from Flopsy. So Nick, out of all of this, is on the medium tyre and is leading this race. Great stuff.
LJ Speed with a very good written Murray impression there. Sparks now in 3rd place behind the car in 2nd. Well, wait, now 4th. And the man in 5th is Frentzen. Behind is 6th Frentzen. He does that as well sometimes.
With the savage dive.
Word. Here, let's have another look at that here on the inside.
That was a great overtake.
A bit too early. Let's see if we can just get a bit more distance on it. There it is. Oh, he came from a mile back as well there. Flopsy on the inside. Takes Nas completely by surprise into La Source there. And look who Nas now has for company. It is Olympic, who absolutely is flying through the pack here. He's on a purple sector through sector 1. Using the slipstream to his best abilities here. He's gained 5 places on the opening 2 laps.
I tell you who is flying, and that is Ryan. He's pitted, and he is only 5 seconds off Olympic right now. He is flying.
He's onto the softs. He started on the medium, so that was getting those mediums out of the way and over with quickly. And now he's set to race for the rest of the race on these softs.
So does that mean that Chris has lost so much time because he hasn't pitted?
No,
he's doing 2-minute 2s.
But he is on the mediums though. This has been held up. Has he had an accident or something? This is true. He's doing 2-minute 2s. That is very unlikely, so to say. He's a long way back. Let's see how the Dane copes with this situation. Seems to be the first time he really has had things go against his way, but it could also be just from trying to save up on the overtake. By the way, hello Mew, nice to have you along.
Oh, this is a huge battle. Sparks into the bus stop chicane, diving Sparks. Job done there. And race Royce. Olympic is just time Flopsy. He is on a mission right now.
So here's
and
the move
57.8. Wow.
From Sparks, and then race Royce as well. Olympic. Oh my word.
Oh. Huge accident. Oh no, Sparks thrown.
Oh no. Oh, that's Sparks. And that's in La Source.
Olympic now in the inside of Rouge, he's second.
So, and by the way, look at that send there from Race Royce on Tiger Tom, and then he collects Sparks and sends him wide. I think Sparks might have gone a little wide in the first place there. Nick now leading from Olympic up into 2nd place. Olympic is up into 2nd place. Race Royce in 3rd, Flopsy 4th, Tiger Tom in 5th now. Nas is 6th, then Sparks, Ryan 8th, Chris is in 9th place, that he was at least last time we checked, and Single Filer is in the pit. And it
Olympic
looks,
is just so
looks like
he bought a whole second in this sector to Nick.
Absolutely flying. Nick is still on the mediums out ahead, in a bit of a peculiar strategy, I think, to use the mediums in that position there early on. But of course, as the softs get worn here early, could be seeing advantage going into the medium, whereas here at some point, which might make sense. Bad luck there, and F's out for Single Filer, who's parked it.
Huge as well for Nick, because he has this medium tyre which Olympic will have to go onto at some point in the race. But Nick has so much more overtake just to defend from Olympic, and here we go, this might be an overtake going into the bus stop.
Gets shoved onto the outside, and he goes right around there, Olympic, with the softs and the braking pressure here. Check it from the... What an absolute send of a move. He licked the stamp, he sent it, and he made it right on through on the outside there to take the lead. And we're only on lap 5. Mind you, Olympic started 2nd to last. And he certainly made a fool of me for saying starting on the softs at the back of the field doesn't really make sense. I said that, and here we have Olympic now leading the race. Nick in a very good position though to put on the pressure here with the overtake, with the slipstream here coming down towards Lecomte. There's not going to be anything, he's just holding back for now. Race Roos in 3rd. Flopsy 4th, Tiger Tom 5th, Nas, the R70 driver in 6th, Ryan now in 7th. Haven't gotten through on Sparks, Joni into 9th, so Chris has lost another position there, I think. Somehow. Still battling it out with Cooper, 12.1 seconds down on our current leader.
Ryan has gained 10 seconds, I think. since he's pitted on the rest of the field. What?
Lorenzi in reality had to pee really bad. Please don't tell me that's true. If such, can we see some watery emojis out there in chat? Some watery. Use your imagination, guys. Let's see some watery emojis for our peeing friend single filer. So Olympic in a very good position here. But as you mentioned, and as Lorenzi also mentioned in chat here, he does still have to use the overtake here. Race rules R70 up into second place, into the bus stop. Very clean overtake that is. Just had his nose ahead of Nick. Nick's still on those mediums, and it seems it's also really showing in the stopping distances. Those soft runners aren't able to outbrake the medium users.
Yeah.
Do we actually have different colors on the tires, like in Formula 1? Do you know that thing?
Yes, I think. Yes.
So the mediums are white, the softs are. No, what?
I just saw one red. Oh no, I think it's just the.
That's just
tire
Chris,
brand.
That's just Chris's tire brand, I think. Yeah, that's.
I think it's Firestone, maybe that brand. I think the rest are just. I don't know what they use.
Let's see Nick's overtake. Do we show it? Fynn, do we show it to the people?
We have to.
We show it. He hasn't used much at all. That's like 12-15% from what I can see. Nick very conservative. And with that, he's in a very good position actually.
He's just saving it for the soft tyre on lower. Really put them lap times in. There's no point using it now where he's still in the streamy global compound. So clever thinking there from Nick.
Indeed. Oh, good stuff. New to get those eggs in there as well. That's good to see. We want to see those eggs. So for the first time, it seems it's stringing out just a little bit here at the front of affairs. Though in 6th place, with this wonderful camera travel, we're watching Ryan through Blanchimont, closely followed by Nas, then Sparks in the D2 machine. And up ahead, it's Flopsy and Tiger Tom, all within striking distance pretty much of one another. There behind Sparks, I think it is Joni, who's really looking ready to pounce.
Getting worried of Olympic, he's used a lot of overtake. I mean, yes, he's got a 3.5 second gap, but he's not going to be able to defend later on when the soft runners, when he's on the mediums. So it might work out, it might not. Nick now going for the overtake on the inside of Race Roy. He's got that done.
Let's see, get in my ad van if you want candy.
Oh my god.
That's my best impression of the KEKW guy.
KEKW for you.
That is one of the best movies.
Kim Kardashian West.
What?
KKW Kim Kardashian West.
Oh, look at this here, R70. Was that a defensive move there? Did he go around Tiger Tom, or what did exactly happen here? No, he did go around Tiger Tom on the outside through Puhon. Here we are on board. Have a look here. Did you hear Puhon right there?
Yeah. Oh, Tiger Tom!
Oh my word! Tiger Tom! What on earth has happened?
Oh. The curse of the poo horn.
And he's off and he's out of the race. Look at the car driving itself. The driver isn't even... Oh, he goes off to the grass there. But then what happens here? Stavilo on the inside. He gets touched. Oh, and he gets sent. And someone is involved in that as well. I don't know who that was. Was that Sparks? Not quite sure there. Chris now up into 8th place. I think the other one involved in that calamity was Joni, because Joni is now come in behind Chris. Chris, who seems to have picked up the pace, he's gained a second, over a second here on the last lap alone on race leader Olympic. Olympic, who leads Nick by 5.2 seconds. 5.2 seconds. It's a massive advantage at the head of the field.
Ryan and Flopsy is already passed, so he's made a pit stop and he's ahead of people that haven't.
Ryan is flying at the moment. He really is up into 4th place. Those soft are showing wear by now, but he did pit in very, very early, but does have the advantage that he does not need to go onto the mediums later in the world.
This strategy is very interesting because he obviously will have to make more stops than the rest.
That's a good one, Mr. T. Why don't you retract that one? Why don't you retract that one? That was amazing. You need to write that message again, I swear. Here's Chris now up into 7th place. You have to wonder who he went past here.
Ryan is just in slipstream now of Royce. So from a pit stop down to just running in free air, he's basically now on equal terms with the rest of the pack.
I'm gonna just read that out loud, MRT or playlister. Poohon is perfectly named. You're gonna have a poo on your pants if you get it wrong. Oh, that's a good one. So race situation here, just starting lap 9. It's Olympic leading. Oh, Nick's into the pits, and he was losing big time, bleeding time over the last couple of laps here. Olympic leading by 8 seconds now. Race Royce in 2nd. Ryan, who had his first pit stop as well, mind you, he's up into 3rd place. Flopsy 4th. Chris is now in 5th place. Still running the mediums, really seeming to get a good amount of jolt out of those tires. Because
Sparks has jumped Nick.
Sparks has jumped Nick.
Is he putting a I think he's not putting enough fuel in. Sparks? Interesting. Yeah, he's gone for lower fuel.
Yes, but he's running the medium now. He's gonna do a short stuff on the mediums, a short stint, and then get back on the softs as quickly as possible.
Interesting. Nick can now use all of that overtake in free air. This is where we will see what kind of laps he can do with all that overtake.
That's very true. And Felix, I have to agree there, a 25-point performance there for Playlister in chat today. Good stuff there. Look at this now. Ryan is in 2nd place. Ryan is in 2nd place. I don't think he was when he started this lap.
No.
But he's gotten past race rules, and Chris is up into 4th place. So, and Chris is on the softs now. Has he been in? Did Chris pit at some point? I mean, did Chris even... I'm getting perplexed here because I think Chris was on the mediums earlier on. He must have been in for a pit stop. He must have been in. And I'm even wanting to put up this. Yes, 2 minutes 11, lap 3. Chris had his pit stop. So Chris is over and out. Chris on pretty much the same strategy as Ryan, actually.
Ryan's pitting.
Ryan is pitting. Olympic is pitting as well.
More fuel for Ryan.
Yeah,
this is really interesting.
Nice. More fuel for Ryan. Olympic comes out on the mediums. And he joins in the lead. So Olympic gets out there, very low fuel, medium tires. He's gonna do 1-2 laps on those tires, then dart into the pits for a fresh set of softs.
That was a very small pit loss because he's still 2.8 ahead of Race Royce, who didn't pit.
Yeah. And that's left Chris in 3rd position now. Oh, Chris looking for the dive here. And getting it done. Beautiful move there. Now
it's a VLX 1-2 again.
The VLX boys, I'm sorry to say it, but they are really showing the class here in this series. They have been the superior boys over the first 2 rounds now, collectively, if such can be said. And it's not because they have necessarily been that far ahead on pure pace. but they really seem to have had their strategies locked down and in place, and very well thought through actually on how to get there quickest and in a creative way. And being mindful that for Chris and Olympics' sake in this race, they started in the bottom 2 positions and are now running to the top 2 positions here at the halfway point of the race.
I think Ryan's going to the end. And if not, it might just be a quick tyre change, but he has enough fuel, I think, to go to the end.
Ryan, who's currently sitting in 9th place. We are on lap 10 of 20. So more or less here at the half the race gone marker. That's the VLX boys. Oh, Olympics back in. See, that's that short stint I talked about on the mediums. And
he's gonna have to refuel.
He's for sure gonna leave on a fresh set of softs and enough fuel to last him the rest of the race.
The ad fans are back.
Sparks are in as well. Lorenzi, yes, that's very much true. All they need is Pinkery, then we get a VLX sweep. That's actually true as well. Let's see Pinkery though, not really, I think, in a position that close. And let's see here with Olympic. Of course, Chris does need to give in another pit stop. We expect racers, maybe Fynn, you can have a look at the fuel and tires of the drivers in positions 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, the top 5 all have quite bad tyre wear, apart from Pinkery and Chris. But they're all on the same kind of fuel, and Johnny will probably have to come in this lap because he's running very low.
So that's just what we need to know. And yeah, Felix, I suspected that. Because thing we saw in the sprint race that looked pretty well drilled. That looked like a team exercise in the good way. I like to see that because it is team racing after all. Teammates, you race, yeah. But you maybe race your teammates just that little less hard. And if you're able to run away from the rest of the pack, well then so be it. Chris in the lead, 3.5 seconds down to Race Royce. He's really charging away. The Dutchman is having his mirrors full.
I just realised by just standings alone, I think Ryan is in the theoretical lead.
That's a very good position. This battle for, as Chris comes in, Joni comes in as well here. This battle for what is now on track 6th place. You could very well be right. These are the drivers that we were expecting to be able to go to the end here. And the first of them. And now, when are they going to be coming out from the pits? That's going to be very shortly. And I think they might be sold off here.
Wow. Let's see. Chris is coming out the pit lane now.
It's just going to be just about now. Oh my word. What is it going to be? Chris is going to be just behind these guys.
Wow.
So indeed, Race Royce does need to pit again. So we'll have Ryan now with a move coming from Nick here. Nice run up through Radillo, and here comes the move from Olympic as well. He's gonna have a hard time defending that. The Dutchman is on the inside. On board we go, and Olympic is through indeed.
Wow, I did not expect a 4-way battle to come out of this race.
So here on board we are with Ryan. There comes the send from Olympic, just finds the space in which to put his car, and now Chris is up there as well, and it's a direct battle for the lead of the race, we suspect, unless Race Royce can have a very short pit stop here as Chris goes up into 4th. Ryan is really falling down the order now. He had
Chris with the fresher tires,
yeah,
the most overtake. Wow, this is gonna be easy, to say the least. Olympic with literally the last few bits of overtake in the tank.
So it looks to be for Ryan as well. He doesn't look to have a lot left, but Nick though has quite a lot left, it seems. So it's Nick and Chris, the two drivers in the best positions here, if you're judging as well by the overtake here, as in comes Race Royce.
I think Race Royce will come out in the lead, but on mediums. He's taken them so far. we'll have to see because it might. This
Did he
could
start
be a
on
five-way.
did he start on the mediums or did he start on the softs?
He's
started
taken
on
the softs from lap 1 to 12.
Oh, he's taken one set of softs until now on fuel save like a crazy.
He's just coming out now.
On the medium, 72% of fuel. He's gonna be right behind, but he's gonna be.
But look how much overtake. He has 3/4 of overtake.
And you know what? Those softs on the cars ahead, they are gonna have enough time to actually get worn.
Yeah.
So Race Royce, do not count him out of this. He could very well be on for a late charge on the final couple of laps. Now what's going on up ahead here? Nick's now in second. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris, up into second place. And that happened early on. He's now battling his teammate Olympic more than closely. And then Nick comes with the... oh, that's a big look up the inside into Le Comte, but makes nothing of it in the end there. Olympic goes a little bit wide there. Ryan still hanging on to it in fourth. He does not have a lot of overtake left. And he will try to just use it correctly here further down. Not too far down, actually. Joni in sixth place. Flopsy also close to the second of the Audi liveried machines there. So basically, what we're having here is first through seventh place, separated by around 4 seconds at the moment. That's highly impressive.
And the crucial thing is, Olympic Jim has no overtake.
Welcome Ethan Lime, by the way, good to have you along. 7 laps, no overtake. That's going to be very, very tough to defend.
Here comes Chris.
Here comes Chris into the bus stop indeed. Olympic does go defensive, so he is trying. He is trying to defend his position, but there isn't really no doing it from that. Look at how Chris just muscles his way in through. But of course, in gentlemanly fashion, he's on the outside here, and he knows when that becomes the inside. He's in the prime position. He does so perfectly. Now what's going on, Fynn?
Well, Nick now has the best run on Olympic because he now has a lot more overtake. And Chris using all that overtake is now basically equaled out the playing fields with the top 5. So it's be interesting to see if Nick can get in there with the VLX boys.
0.8 of a second, so it's right around the edge of the, like when you really start to get a proper soup up towards your rear bumper. Oh, he seems to understeer through these corners though, Nick. He's losing out time on the 2 drivers ahead. It will not take him a lot to put Nick completely out the slipstream. If that happens, I think it's gonna be very hard for Nick to get up there. He does have the overtake.
That was a bad corner there from Olympic. He's dropping off of Nick. He has no overtake to defend as well.
No, Nick is dropping off ever so slightly, and Olympic is dropping off of Chris at the same time, which means it's going to be all the more difficult for Nick to have a shot at getting back at the Dane here through the final quarter of this race.
Yeah, this is where Dirty Air is at its worst at the track. If he can keep in that 1.5, I'm sure he'll be able to get him by La Source, because he has so much more overtake.
Multi-map 2-1, Chris. Multi-map 2-1. We're gonna have Chris and Olympic fucking pissed at one another after the end of the race. And Chris just saying, multi-map 2-1, Chris. Multi-map 2-1. Yeah. Then he'll be fucking mad. Could be fun.
That's a bad corner from Nick then, bus stop.
Yeah, it
so
is.
He's not going to get the best
That
run.
it is. It's 1.4 seconds now, but you know what, Ryan? Further back, Ryan is also suffering. He went early onto those final set of softs. Joni is getting closer and closer, looking for the run on the Brit in front.
Nick is using every bit of overtake to get into the slipstream again. He needs to use more. Johnny as well, he's come out of nowhere in this race and he's now right behind Ryan. Might be a late charge for him in this race.
Yeah, indeed, he is, as I mentioned, right behind Ryan. He's really closing, and it's been, and as we say that, the curse of the commentator strikes, and Joni is completely clear, and that's not the exit of Malmedy.
And now Cooper and Race Royce. How did Race Royce get that low down?
What happened to Race Royce? That's a very good.
Oh,
that's a very good point. What happened to Joni? They're on the outside, and Race Royce goes on through with Cooper for company. Oh my word! This is really kicking off here. I was just gonna say about Chris. I've been as mentioned. When you're a Dane, there aren't that many Danes at the top level of GT sport. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong, but we have Chris, we have Kenny, who's up there as well, and I don't think there's really that many else than that. So it's not that hard for me to follow the quick Danes and support him a bit and be a bit of a fanboy, you know. So I've followed his progress for some time now.
Cooper Race Royce.
And it's such a pleasure to see him on this sort of level.
That might have been a mistake there. Royce just giving Cooper the inside.
Yeah, and Cooper is taking it gladly, and he's moving right up into 6th place. Actually, good movement here for Cooper in this race. Flying below the radar, but making the best of it. Chris should not be left with this kind of gap, and a bit of overtake left here. 5 more laps of racing left. 1.7 seconds. It's gonna be very hard for anyone to stop Chris. Going a double here today.
Our top 5 was separated by second. It's now 6. Just really tells how literally everyone is on a different strategy in the top 5.
Yeah. The strategic diversity has been really nice throughout the opening 2 rounds here. We've seen some different strategies, and they've been very well balanced because it's all come back together here at the end of the race, and that is exactly what we want to see.
I think Race Royce, if he had pitted a few laps earlier, I think he could have been in major contention for this win.
But he's on the mediums now, and that's what we have to remember. I think that is why he's suffering on his pace.
Yeah.
I don't think his gamble for the soft to wear out was really... Yeah, it's not gonna work out for him. He's under heavy pressure from Joni, whom we are on board with at the moment. I had to slow that down to get it out my mouth.
Which is the only real battle on track now. Everyone's so far apart.
For the first time in this entire evening, we've had actually the entire field is spread out. You know when you look at the minimap and they go through the bus stop, it looks like everybody's spinning.
Yeah.
Like at least once.
Oh, I think actually someone did just spin. Yeah, I think Sparks. Oh, Sparks. Now side by side at the exit of the bus stop.
Oh well.
This will be interesting.
Another look at it as they come up here. It's gonna be Nas on the outside. Outbreaking Sparks. Sparks might be there with the run on here.
And they're on the same tyres as well. So it'll be an equal fight.
Did you say that Sparks spun? They had a...
It looked like it was the icon.
No, there was no spin. There was just 2 icons going around there in close contact. There are Sparks.
Oh, Sparks.
Nas now battling for #NotLast. And it's the Spaniard coming out on top at the moment. Pinkery is up in front of these guys by 1.6 seconds. And then in 8th, it is Race Royce, who was so close to being in a good position, but caught out by having to use those mediums here last. Now Chris has further increased his advantage by 0.3 of a second. Since last time we checked, it's now up to 2 seconds down to Olympic. Olympic still hanging on to second by a comfortable margin, even without any overtake left. Nick is not really able to claw back the time.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a surprise to me, at least, seeing how they pitted pretty much at the same time. With that overtake, you would expect him to be able to pick up the slipstream of Olympic. It hasn't been so, and the VLX boys has been insanely quick.
Yeah.
They've been insanely consistent, and it's only been well deserved that they are at the head of the field here once again.
Olympic, though, losing out again to the same thing he lost out to on sprint was just the lack of overtake. You know, he has literally none since lap 13, which has just meant that Chris can just breeze pass.
Yeah.
So maybe it would have been close to if he would less, but then again the gap wouldn't have been as big. So
that's true. And in that sense, it would have been like it was very much actually a carbon copy of what we saw in the first race. In the sprint race, that Chris was in such a commanding position that you just knew that at some point he's gonna get this done. Now what's happening here behind? There's a three-way battle, a four-way battle.
Four-way battle.
Oh my word! Brian in fourth, Flopsy, Cooper, and Joni. And we were talking about this. Where did this come from? I was just about to say this came from out of nowhere. This is absolutely terrific racing. Ryan now hanging on to it. He's got 3 drivers for company, and it's only the 2 drivers who are in the back 2 positions of this battle that has any overtake left. That's Cooper and Joni in position 6 and 7. They're coming into Pujon now. It's of course so important not to sail wide onto the green AstroTurf. That stuff has very little grip. If that becomes on where the loaded tire is, well, off you go to the left-hand side in the runoff area, and if it's really bad, even into the wall here. Through LaForge and into Stavelo.
Oh,
he seems
that's
to be
a very sketchy exit there for Cooper. Otherwise, he would have been right on the back of Flopsy.
Yeah, indeed. Let's see here with Joni, who's in 7th place. It gives us the bit of a different perspective. From
Cooper is gaining hugely on Ryan and Flopsy. Flopsy's going to go left, and I think Cooper's
left and center there. Look at that. They go side by side into the bus stop. And Cooper is there to take advantage, perhaps. And who is it going through there? Cooper. Joni keeps it for now. As we go on to the penultimate lap here. Ryan under pressure from Joni on the outside. They're up ahead. It's Flopsy with Cooper on the inside into the source. There's so much happening right now. Cooper takes 4th place. Flopsy, then Joni and Ryan. Ooh. That's Joni. Oh my word. My neighbors, they must be so goddamn annoyed with me today for all the screaming that's going on.
4th.
Cooper up into 4th place. That's absolutely magnificent from the...
Ryan is not done here. He has the double slipstream.
Comes Flopsy. Cooper really with the defensive action there, and Flopsy to the outside. He's looking, trying to squeeze in his nose.
Wow.
It's through Le Combe into Malmedy here, down towards Brussels.
This is not going to end anytime soon.
Well, it's going to end soon, because soon they're going to run out of road. They have a lap and a half left to go. But apart from that, I think it's going to last to the line. This has been another round of absolutely amazing racing here. Joni gets the good run on Ryan. He has the very good run indeed. And he's looking left, right, and center into Pujon, but it's not going to work for him. And all the while, Cooper is gaining on Flopsy in 5th place, trying to run away with that 4th place for now.
He has the best tyres out of everyone in this group. I mean, Ryan's tyres are just hideous. I mean, the pad is not lending itself well to them tyres right now. Joni, I would probably say, is the best run here, because I think Cooper's out of slipstream already.
Cooper has flown up ahead. He's probably used quite a lot of that overtake to get him the advantage, knowing that the rest of the trio would still be battling in behind.
Yeah. Oh, Joni with the look. Ryan with the look.
Oh, Ryan with the look. Joni with the look as well. As you say, it's really close here. We're on board with Joni yet again, who's given us this panoramic view of the battle. Joni did not get the bad exit though, but Ryan seems to have a good run on Flopsy here coming into La Source, but he's not going to be close enough.
All about the exit now. Ryan didn't get a good one. Joni is right there.
Ryan was actually too close to Flopsy there as they apexed through the source, and he wasn't able to get early enough on the throttle. Even though it seems that his car would let him. Here they come through. La Source, Rouge, Camel straight now. Here comes Ryan on Flopsy. Flopsy using what he has left of the overtake, I think. Oh, sorry.
And now they've caught up to Cooper.
They've caught up to Cooper. But Flopsy is having to go defensive here from Ryan. I don't think they're going to catch up here. Flopsy goes onto the AstroTurf, and Ryan has the inside line here. And that's actually, that's Joni on the outside of Ryan. What is going on here?
Oh, what a move if he can make that stick.
He makes it.
God. But Ryan with the undercut. Will Ryan dive in? No. But Ryan should... No. Wow. And Cooper again, just waltzing off into the distance. Wow.
Let us have a swift other look. So here, look at this. Joni on the outside of Ryan through Brussels. We're on board with Flopsy, as you can see. And then through No Name, he gets it done. Ryan tries with the cutback here down towards Pujon. I don't think he got the run.
So, Chris dominated this race, but the fight for fifth is still not over. Johnny 3/10 behind, just and coming out of Blanchimont now.
Chris takes the checkered flag for a 1-2 win yet again for a VLX dominant display here. Nick comes home third for Vanquish Esports, and it is going to be Cooper for TX3 and fourth after a very good race. Wow, I have to say, by the American here. And who's that who runs out on the line? That's Flopsy.
Ryan. It's Ryan.
Ryan! What has happened to Ryan?
Oh,
He's run out of fuel.
Race Royce is just saying thank you very much for them 2 free positions.
That was
after he ran out in the first race. Jeez.
What an absolute race. What an absolute gem of a race, I have to say.
I have not seen a race that entertaining. And both races have just been fantastic.
This was some really, really good stuff indeed.
Wow.
What can I say? I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did in the booth here, Fynn and I. Really, I think I can speak for both of us when I say we had a brilliant time bringing you this race. Again, congratulations to the VLX boys. Congratulations to Chris on his 3rd win, if you count both sprint and feature race wins as wins. There's his 3rd out of 4th wins so far in this series. Chris really on a roll so far. It's been dominant performances there from the VLX boys.
So many people running out of fuel.
Castrato 2020.
I'm so surprised that 3 people, wasn't it, that ran out of fuel in the sprint race when that's just meant to be a flat out race.
And 3 people still. That means you still have to keep an eye on the fuel, yo.
Jesus.
So for clarifications, here is your race results shown on screen. Chris in front of Olympic by 2.8 seconds, and then a further 6 or so seconds down to Nick. You had that really good battle with Cooper taking 4th in front of Joni. Then Race Royce just coming out of nowhere, like, hey, I'm gonna grab 6th with Flopsy and Ryan running out of fuel around the bus stop chicane yet again there. Nas in 9th place, Sparks grabbing 10th, Pinkery 11th, and Single Filer on a mission to find a place to pee.
Definitely, definitely damage limitation, Royce. Like running out of fuel in the first race and then passing people running out of fuel in the second. Oh, wow. He learned from his mistakes and got 2 free positions.
Indeed, he did. He did. Oh, I'm gonna need a good cup of tea now and a chill activity to do now afterwards to calm down a bit, I think. If you like what you've seen here on Half the Race Gone, give me and Fynn a like for the video here, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, if you think we're shit, if you think we're shit, do feel free to give us a dislike, but only if you
want to see more people run out of fuel.
If you want to see more people run out of fuel in a very dramatic fashion on the final lap, you saw it in the IGTL Team Nation Cup. It happened to T5 Black in the Aston Series last Thursday, and here you have it again. People running out of fuel. That's what we're all about here on Half the Race Gone.
Only the best.
So thank you for that very, very good segue into, if you want to see more people running out of fuel, do subscribe, do hit the bell icon to get notified when we stream. And with that said, from me, from Fynn in the back, Fynn, can I say it was an absolute pleasure having you along in the booth today. It was a lot of fun, and you should be welcome anytime you want to join in for any of these broadcasts.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's probably the best race to broadcast because there literally was so much racing throughout both races. But yeah, appreciate hopping on.
Well, from us here in the booth, from the organizers, of which we are thankful, of course, you lads over at the Vanquish Esports, thanks for putting this together. Thanks for having us commentate on it and bring it to you people out there. Lovely people. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, it's been a lot of fun, and I hope to see you soon. We will be back, just to mention real quickly, we will be back on Thursday, of course, for the Simpact Aston series. And then the coming weekend for more iRacing fun there with Traels and the boys, so do not miss that as well. Until next time, take care, have fun, bye bye.